Well, we are wedged in between Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas, deep in the heart of Texas here tonight for this exhibition edition of MLB 19, the show. It'll be the Rangers hosting the Detroit Tigers here in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Park. Coming at you live here from Globe Life Park in Arlington. It's a chance to take a look at the Rangers starter tonight, Lance Lynn. Numbers from 2018. He was 16-11, 3.67 ERA with 246 strikeouts. Pretty impressive year for him, and the Rangers seem to agree, as when Lance Lynn hit free agency in between the 2018 and 2019 seasons, they signed him to a 3-year deal. And had a very impressive 2019, as the very first pitch of the evening is going to be hit on the ground by the leadoff hitter, center fielder Victor Reyes. Odor makes the easy play, scoops it up, and throws it over to Guzman at first for out number one. For the Tigers, we'll have a chance to take a look at their starting lineup. Reyes, you just saw ground out. He's leading off and playing center. Jordy Mercer at second base and batting second. Cabrera batting third and playing short. Hicks in the cleanup spot at first base as well. It'll be Ronnie Rodriguez at third base, Kristen Stewart in left, Travis DeMeridian in right, the catcher Grayson Grenier batting eighth, and Jaime Candelario DHing and batting ninth. And the first pitch on the way to Mercer is going to be fouled off back behind the plate. And Lance Lynn couldn't have asked for a better start, as the very first pitch he threw this evening, as you saw, hit on the ground of the second baseman Odor by Reyes and thrown over for the easy out number one. And Lance Lynn, a guy who is pretty good at getting those ground ball outs, but more than anything, really known for a guy who likes to try to work that strikeout pitch. As see our umpires there, Jerry Hillsdale at first, Kenny Jansen at second, and I missed the rest of the names.
That's ball three.
And Lance Lynn, as I was saying, a guy who likes to try to work that strikeout pitch, and as a result, generally tends to throw a lot of pitches. You'll see him in a lot of full count scenarios, as
that's in. Ball four.
We'll watch him walk Jordy Mercer after Mercer worked the count to 3-1.
Batting third.
Lynn did not like that call. Looked like it could have gone either way. But our home plate umpire ruled that it was just a bit inside. And that'll bring up the two-time Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera, playing short tonight. He hit .281 last year with 12 home runs and 59 RBIs in a year that was really plagued by injuries. He's had a couple of those recently. But he'll look to get the Tigers started off here in the top of the first. Try to make something happen with that first pitch walk. Lance Lynn with a very nice curveball there as we take a second look at it. Front dooring that back onto the inside corner. Lynn does a good job of changing speeds, changing the eye level, working in and out, as we see a fastball there on the outside part of the plate, fouled off by Cabrera. A little late on that swing. And this one's going to be driven into center field. He wasn't late on that one, as DeShields, the center fielder, is going to field it and throw on to third, and really had no chance to make that play. You gotta maybe question the throw decision there, as Cabrera is going to sneak into second. And that should be ruled a a double, I should say, a one-out double. It's going to bring up the first baseman, John Hicks, with a chance to get these Tigers out to an early lead in the top of the first. Lynn starting off this at bat with another curveball in there on the outside corner, about knee-high. And so Lynn finds himself in a bit of early trouble. But with Hicks here, he's able to get him down very quickly with an 0-2 count. The 0-2 is on the way. Breaking ball that is outside. Hicks really didn't even have to think about that one. Tried to get him to chase, but just a little bit too far off the plate to really even entertain the thought of taking a hack at that one. Trevino with the call, wanting something inside. And Hicks gets around on that one, but he pulls it foul. And he's going to pull this one into left center field. It's going to split the gap. And both runs are going to score as Hicks is going to be in there with a stand-up double. And so the Tigers out to an early 2-0 lead, as after the walk and the Cabrera double, John Hicks steps in and is able to drive in both of those guys with the one-out double. That will bring up the Gold Glove third baseman, Ronnie Rodriguez. And for the third straight at bat, Lance Lynn is going to start Ronnie Rodriguez off with a curveball in there for a strike. And similar to the last at bat with Hicks, very quickly up to an 0-2 count on the two-seam fastball. Lynn looking to punch him out here. The 0-2 is on the way.
One ball.
A breaking ball. Down and outside. John Hicks on second base with a conservative lead off of second. And the 0-2 is weakly hit out towards Lynn, who easily fields that one and throws over to Guzman. And there are now two away for the Tigers here in the top of the first.
The left fielder, number 14.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Kristen Stewart. He's a .233 hitter last year. 10 home runs, 40 RBIs.
Ball one.
He had a .305 on base percentage, so he's a guy who can most definitely work the count and get on base via the walk. Watches called strike go by. Brings the count to 1-1. John Hicks pretty consistently with that conservative lead off of second base.
Count is 2-1.
And that one's going to be high from Lynn. So the 2-1 offering on the way from Lynn is going to be swung on. It's got out to right field. Danny Santana is over, and he's going to make the play out there in right field. And so the Rangers are able to retire the side, but not before the Tigers score two on 2 hits. It'll be Chu, Andrews, and Calhoun for the Rangers when we get back. Come back. So a chance to take a look at the starter for the Detroit Tigers, Spencer Turnbull. In 2018, 3-17 record, .461 ERA. Did have 146 strikeouts. So known to be able to work the punch-out pitch.
Leading off for the Rangers, the designated hitter.
And he'll try to handle this Rangers lineup here tonight as Shin-Soo Choo steps in.
Ball in.
Of course, the designated hitter tonight for the Rangers. Choo, a guy who maybe a little bit of a disappointment to Rangers fans, especially in the first 2 or 3 years of his contract as he was plagued by injury. Didn't put up the numbers that Rangers fans felt that he should be, considering what he was being paid. He's up 2-0 in this at bat, and he's going to watch the breaking ball go by for strike one. And so now with a 2-1 count after seeing the breaking ball, if I were Chu, I'd be looking dead red, looking for that fastball. He's going to get that fastball and drive it down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul. And so Chu was on that one, but not able to keep it fair. As he's going to see an off-speed pitch that time. And wow, first base coach Hager for the Rangers. I don't know that guy's first name. He's going to make the barehanded grab. He reminds me of Nolan from my days back in high school, who used to make the same kind of barehanded catches as Chu swings on and misses at that one for the third strike. We'll take a look at the Rangers starting lineup now as the DH Chu just struck out. Shortstop Elvis Andrus will be strolling up to the plate for his first appearance. Willie Calhoun playing left, batting third. Danny Santana in right. Rougned Odor playing second base and batting fifth. Nick Solak will be playing third and will be hitting sixth tonight. Ronald Guzman playing first and batting seventh. Delino DeShields Jr. manning center field and batting eighth, and rounding it all out is Jose Trevino catching tonight for the Rangers. Elvis Andrus quickly finds himself up 2-0 in this at-bat. He hit 274 last year with 12 home runs and 72 RBIs. As he watches that one go by for a strike. Turnbull's 2-1 offering on the way. It is outside for ball three. So Willie Calhoun on deck for the Rangers. Elvis Andrus is a guy who had a .312 on base percentage last year. So in addition to being able to get on base via swinging the bat, speaking of swinging the bat, he'll swing through that one and bring the count full at 3-2. Elvis Andrus is also a guy who can draw walks. And by the way, he had 32 stolen bases last year, but we won't get a chance to see him in action on the base paths as he swings and misses at the breaking ball.
Batting third.
And so Turnbull with the strikeout pitch working here early on, as he has struck out the first two Rangers he's faced. Willie Calhoun, really impressive numbers in that slugging category as he's well above 500 last year for the Rangers. Of course, he didn't spend the entire year at the major league level, but still impressive nonetheless. Watches the first pitch go by for a ball. Turnbull, not a guy who will blow you away with his fastball. He averages pretty consistently 93 to 95 miles an hour. Calhoun's going to drive this one out to center field, but it's going to be an easy play for Reyes to make in center field as he barely has to move. So the Rangers go in order to start this one off. No answer to the 2 runs scored by the Tigers in the top of the first. Tigers lead 2-0. We'll be back after this.
Leading off for the Tigers, the right fielder.
So leading off for the Tigers here in the top of the second inning, it'll be the right fielder, Travis DeMeriti. He will check his swing at the curveball by Len. He's really favored that curveball to start off hitters in this one. DeMeriti, a .225 hitter with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Did have a 286 on base percentage, but not the biggest threat at the plate. He is, however, a Gold Glove winner, and that's likely what's earned him that starting role out in right field. As he swings and misses at the second strike, bringing the count to 1-2.
Oh, that's upstairs.
Lance Lynn, 2-2 offering, is on the way. And he's going to get him on the high fastball, probably looking for something spinning there. But Lance Lynn able to work him over with the fastball as he gets his first strikeout. Well, should probably check my numbers on that one. Take a look at the Rangers' defensive set here as I want to draw your attention to Delino DeShields out in center field. Delino DeShields, of course, in present day, is no longer a member of the Texas Rangers. Delino DeShields, of course, a part of that part of that trade that sent him to Cleveland for Corey Kluber, the Cy Young winner. As speaking of the Shields, he's able to range over and make the play in right center field. So Rangers fans very excited about the arrival of Corey Kluber. They were hoping that they would be able to at least get to watch him pitch 1 or 2 games by this point in the season. However, of course, the world is in a very different place than it was a couple months ago. And the health and safety of the players and the umpires and, of course, the spectators and fans are of utmost importance and definitely take precedence over sports. So MLB making the decision to suspend the season as we watch Lance Lynn strike out the catch. I'm sorry, the DH Jeimer Candelario for the final out of the inning. So Danny Santana will lead off the bottom of the second inning for the Texas Rangers. Batting in the cleanup spot tonight. Was a pleasant surprise for the Rangers last year, as they expected him to be a kind of platoon utility guy, but he kind of forced the Rangers to use him as an everyday starter by hitting .283 with 28 home runs and 81 RBIs. He also had 21 stolen bases on the year, so he's definitely a threat on the base paths. And Danny Santana, just really impressive last year for the Rangers. He's going to sky this one out to shallow center field. Reyes is under that one in plenty of time to make the play, and the Rangers very quickly have one gone.
The second baseman,
so Turnbull retires the first 4 that he faces as we take a look at the Tigers' defense. Demeriti, as we mentioned earlier, is a 2018 Gold Glove winner out and right. Of course, Miguel Cabrera at short and Ronnie Rodriguez at third base are also Gold Glove winners in 2018, as Rougned Odor will step up to the plate. He's hitting just above the Mendoza line coming into this point. Believe a few of these stats, a few of these players are, at least until they put out the final update that they issued for MLB 19, the show. These were live stats, current stats. And at this point in the season, when this update came out, Rougned Odor was hitting .202, which is barely above the Mendoza line. He did have 30 home runs, but a very underwhelming batting average, of course. He's up quickly in this one, 3-0. But I'm going to jump on the Rougned Odor hate train. We have seen him start off an at-bat with a 3-0 count and then strike out on the next 3 pitches. So we'll see how this goes, as the count is now 3-1. Rougned Odor, of course, famous among Rangers fans for the punch heard around the world. Back in May of 2016, he got into an altercation in which he punched the glasses and the helmet off of Jose Bautista. Bautista, of course, initially drawing the ire of Rangers fans back in the 2015 ALDS when he homered off of... I'm drawing a blank on the pitcher that was on the mound, relief pitcher that I called my hero at one point because he was doing so well. So you'll have to forgive me for that, but of course Bautista with the bat flip, and you know, Rangers fans not taking too kindly to that as we have a look at Rangers captain, the mascot. Odor able to draw the walk. That brings up Nick Solak. Nick Solak, a pleasant surprise at the end of the 2019 season. Of course, a part of September call-ups, and he did very well. He hit .293 with 5 home runs and 17 RBIs. Had a .393 on-base percentage. So this kid definitely showing some promise at the plate. I think most of the concern for Nick Solak is solely on the defensive side. during spring training before everything was shut down. Rangers were trying to decide exactly what to do with him. They had him playing some games at third base, had him out in center field some. He is a guy that they would love to see in the starting lineup, or at least in some kind of platoon utility role. Very good with a bat in his hands. Turnbull trying to find his command here as he's now down 3-0. Fastball, knee high, outside corner for a strike. Turnbull, a guy as I was attempting to explain in the last inning, not a guy who's going to blow you away with his fastball. Tops out about 95, but that's not a consistent speed for him.
Nope, that's ball
As
four.
Solak is going to watch ball 4 go by. And the Rangers now, with 1 out, have runners on first and second.
The first baseman.
And that's going to bring up the first baseman, Ronald Guzman. Disappointing year for him last year. He didn't spend the entire year at the major league level, but when he was up at this level, he hit .218 with 10 home runs, 36 RBIs.
Hey.
So Turnbull going back, he's a guy who's not going to blow you away with his fastball for the 3rd time now, but he will work the zone well, as this one's going to be hit on the ground by Guzman. It's fumbled by Cabrera, but he is going to be able to make the play at first, so maybe trying to turn that double play before he actually had the ball. He is able to recover in time to retire Guzman at first, so they'll at least get the 1. But now the Rangers have 2 runners in scoring position with Delino DeShields stepping up to the plate. And with 1 swing of the bat, he could potentially tie this game up. Watches the first pitch go by, down the heart of the plate, and about waist high. A lot of major league hitters don't like to swing at that first pitch. They usually predetermine that they're going to watch it go by. And not sure if that was the case as we watched DeShields swing and miss at the breaking ball. But whether it was the case or not, DeShields probably won't get another pitch like that to hit. At least not in this at-bat. And he's going to bloop this one, and no, it's going to be caught. As off the bat, I thought that one might have made it into shallow left center field, but Cabrera able to make the play, and the 2-out threat does not come to pass with runners on second and third. Tigers still lead this one 2-0. We'll be back after this. So back to the top of the lineup for the Detroit Tigers as Victor Reyes steps into the box. He grounded out on the very first pitch of the evening to the second baseman, Odor. And Lance Lynn, once again, is going to start a hitter off with a first pitch breaking ball strike. Lynn is a guy who, when he has that fastball and that breaking ball working together in tandem, he is a very, very dangerous pitcher as we watch a 2-seam. Just a little bit low for a ball. And Lance Lynn, as I mentioned, very dangerous 1-2 punch with that fastball and the breaking ball. Curveball is usually clocks in at a 78, 79 mile an hour clip. A lot of movement. And that one is going to be drilled down the first base line. Guzman lays out. He's not able to make the play. But Santana is going to get the friendly hop off the wall. He's able to get it in quickly, and Reyes is going to be held. I'm sorry. No, Reyes, yes, is going to be held to a single. Brings up Jordy Mercer. Mercer's going to watch the first pitch go by for a ball. He did walk in his first plate appearance, came across to score on that John Hicks, I should say. That John Hicks double out to left center field. Get a look at Manager Chris Woodward there, giving the signs to catcher Jose Trevino.
Hey.
Lynn's going to throw over to Guzman at first, but Reyes back in plenty of time. You see the catcher Trevino there giving multiple signs. Usually they'll do that to, as we watch a fly ball out to the right fielder, Danny Santana, who's on in plenty of time to make the play.
Now batting, shortstop, Miguel.
So usually you'll see
Cabrera.
catchers give multiple signs, and they'll have, you know, the second or third sign indicator to determine which pitch is going to be thrown. But usually you see catchers give those signs with a runner on second base. There is a runner on, but Reyes is currently over at first base as the first pitch to shortstop, and two-time Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera is in there for a ball. So Reyes is over at first, but of course with the Astros cheating scandal and the concern with cameras and technology being used to potentially steal signs, you know, it makes sense that teams would want to be a little bit more cautious. Give multiple signs. Try to throw other teams off their scent. Lynn's 1-2 offering is on the way. It's going to be fouled off yet again by Miguel Cabrera. Lance Lynn, 1-2 again. It's going to be swung on and missed by Miguel Cabrera. So, and that one clocking in at 97 from Lance Lynn.
The first baseman.
Very impressive. Just not expecting it was Cabrera, as he was just late on that one and maybe looking for something spinning, as Lynn got away with the location on that one for sure. So John Hicks drove in the only 2 runs so far for the Tigers. It is still early in this one, but looking to potentially push across another run if he can get one in the gap. Reyes with good speed over on first base. He did have Did have 9 stolen bases in 2018. That one's hit on the ground. Right at Guzman. He's able to make the play. Steps on first for the final out. So Reyes with the leadoff single. But the Tigers aren't able to do anything with it. It'll be Trevino, Chu, and Andrews for the Rangers. Coming up next.
Leading off for the Rangers,
Jose Trevino steps into the box to take his first cuts of the evening.
Trevino.
Catching tonight for the Rangers. First pitch is on the way and in there for a called strike one. 81-mile-an-hour changeup from the pitcher Turnbull. Trevino hit .256 last year with 2 home runs and 13 RBIs. Not a standout year, but did well in his platoon role. And he's going to drop this one in front of right fielder Demeriti. And the Rangers have their first base hit of the game.
The batter, the designated hitter, Shin-Soo
Nice
Choo.
piece of hitting there is two-seam fastball cutting in on him. He was able to stay within himself and didn't try to do too much with it, and able to bloop in the leadoff single here as Chu steps into the box.
Ball 1, no strike.
Turnbull already up to 35 pitches at this point. His 1-0 offering is on the way. So the count's even at 1-1, and as you can see, we are playing tonight's game from Globe Life Park. Rangers playing their final game. at Globe Life Park, and that one's driven through the infield by Chu. Rangers off to a hot start here in the bottom of the third as the first two hitters to come to the plate and face Turnbull here in the bottom of the third drive the ball into right field. And the Rangers have 2 on with nobody out, and Andrews up to the plate. And he swings and fouls off the first pitch he sees in this at-bat. So as I was saying, the Rangers and the Tigers in this exhibition game, of course, playing tonight's game from Globe Life Park. They played their final game on the very last game of the 2019 season, building the brand new retractable roof stadium, Globe Life Field, right across the street. Of course, this is the closest we can get to another ball game being played in Globe Life Park, as Andrews drives this one again into right field. So Turnbull, after not giving up a single hit through the first 2 innings, has now given up 3 straight to start off the bottom of the third, and the Rangers threatening with the bases loaded and nobody out. And this is what you want. Of course, Joey Gallo not in this lineup tonight. So you want to string together hits. Not really, you have Willie Calhoun, who's a deep ball threat. He hit 21 home runs in his time in the majors last year. Danny Santana with 28 home runs, and Odor with 30 home runs. So you do have a bit of deep ball threat coming up here within the next 3 hitters or so, but this is how you want to do it. You want to string together hits and drive in runs in any way that you can, and if you get the long ball, you get the long ball. I realize as we watch Calhoun strike out on 3 straight pitches, so great comeback there from Turnbull after giving up 3 straight hits. I realize the game's changing. The long ball is a lot bigger part as we watch a glitch in the game. Calhoun's bat floating above his head. Home runs becoming a bigger part of the game. Of course, the record for most home runs in a year shattered in 2019. I believe they were closing in on that number at the All-Star break, with still a couple months of baseball left to play at that point. But there is nothing like stringing together hits to score runs and making a pitcher work and wearing them down. Santana down 0-2 now. Bases are loaded, 1 out. The 0-2 is on the way. Swung on and missed, and so after giving up 3 straight hits, Turnbull has now struck out 2 straight hitters on 6 pitches. Santana way out in front of that one. And the Rangers were threatening. And Turnbull's not out of the woods yet, but after 6 straight pitches and 2 strikeouts, feeling a lot better about the situation. Rougned Odor walked in his last appearance. First pitch on the way. He swings and drives this one right at the shortstop Cabrera. So the Rangers get 3 runners on 3 straight base hits, and they're not able to score. So the Rangers loaded the bases in the last half inning, and sorry Heidi, I turned off the commentator volume. So we're just going to go ahead and skip what you have to say, because you're obviously not important enough. And I can't tell what you're saying anyway. So Ronnie Rodriguez steps up to the plate. Of course, that .220 batting average last year. Not the greatest. Lynn starts him off. 2-seam fastball, 88 miles an hour. It's high for ball 1.
Outside, that's the ball.
Comes back with a curveball. That is a bit outside for ball 2. 2-0 on the way.
Oh, that's low.
And so Lynn, now with a 3-0 count. In danger of walking the leadoff hitter, Rodriguez, here in this inning.
Yeah.
Gets a curveball over for a strike. The 3-1 offering from Lynn on the way. He kicks and throws.
Full count. 3-2.
Full count. 3-2 pitch on the way from Lynn.
Nope.
And it's going to be a bit high. Rodriguez able to draw the walk. So Lance Lynn walks the first hitter he faces this inning. And
Number 14.
keep an eye on that pitch count as he's now up to 54 here in the top of the fourth. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Kristen Stewart. Lined out in his first plate appearance. First pitch on the way. It's fouled off to the right side, to the third base side, I should say. Bouncing off the netting that extends out past the bullpen. Fan safety, of course, becoming a major concern for the league, as multiple fans in multiple different ballparks were, of course, struck by foul balls, and the league wanting to make sure that fans are taken care of.
Ball. That's out.
So a 1-2 count here for Stewart. Lynn. Payoff pitch. That ball's driven out. It popped out to left center field. Delino DeShields Jr. over to make the play.
Now back.
Take a look at the pitch speed
Number
comparison.
50.
Lance Lynn topping out tonight at 97 miles an hour on the strikeout pitch to Jordy Mercer earlier in the game. Spencer Turnbull, as we mentioned earlier, would top out every now and then at 95, but pretty consistently a 93 to 94 mile an hour pitcher. Really relies on his off-speed stuff and working the ball in and out, changing the eye level of the hitter.
1-0.
Travis DeMeritti, 0-1 on the evening.
Ball. That's down.
So Lance Lynn falls behind him, 2-0. Really relying heavily on that breaking ball, but hasn't seemed to have as much command of it this inning.
D-Rod.
And right on cue, gets him to swing right through that breaking ball. Probably a good pitch call, as at 2-0, DeMeritti was likely looking for a fastball. And the 2-1 is on the way and fouled off. Brings the count even at 2-2. Lance Lynn now up to 62 pitches. As we mentioned earlier in this game, he's a guy who really likes to look for that strikeout pitch. Unfortunately for strikeout pitchers, that usually means that they're going to throw a lot more pitches, and he's walked more hitters than I'm sure he would have liked to tonight, as he's now got another full count here to DeMeritti. And he's going to get DeMeritti to swing through the 94 mile an hour fastball. And that's another strikeout for Lance Lynn.
Griner.
Starts him off with a curveball, eats Guzman up, flips it over to Lynn. He's going to be able to make the play to retire the side, but a lot closer than they would have liked. Lance Lynn able to work his way out of this jam. Tigers still lead 2-0. Solak, Guzman to Shields up next.
Leading off for the Rangers, the third baseman.
So Nick Solak into the box for the Rangers. Watches the changeup go by for a strike. Oh, 1 on the way from Turnbull.
Oh, that's off the plate.
Another changeup, just misses. Brings the count even to 1-1.
You got 2 balls, 1 strike.
So Turnbull changing the eye level of the hitter. But that one is
D-Rod.
well off the plate and in the dirt. And now we see Solak swing through the fastball. Count is 2-2. Solak fights this one off. It's going to drop in front of the right fielder, Demeriti. And so a great piece of hitting there with 2 strikes as Solak,
For the Rangers,
showing why the Rangers see so much promise in him. He's able to fight that one off and start the Rangers off here in the bottom of the 4th with a single. Ronald Guzman up to the plate. Solak on first. They're looking to get something started and maybe answer the Tigers as Solak steals second base. He is a threat to steal as it is limited time with the Rangers at the end of 2019. He did have 2 stolen bases. And he gets another one there. And now all of a sudden the Rangers have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. 1-0 on the way to Guzman.
Ball 2.
And it's low for ball 2.
2-0.
Pitch. Turnbull has gone to the off-speed pitch several times tonight in this very count. He'll go to the fastball this time. Down and about knee-high on the outside corner. Counts 2-1.
Down to 3-1.
2-seam fastball, a bit high. Guzman drives this one on a rope, but right at the third baseman Rodriguez. So if I can quote the late great, well, he's not he's not dead, but if I can quote the former Texas Rangers manager Ron Washington, that's just the way baseball goes sometimes. He doesn't say sometimes either, so flub that one up. My bad, guys. Delino to Shields up to the plate. Drops down to lay down a drag bunt. And he fouls it off. 0-1 pitch on the way. To Shields swinging this time, and he fouls that one off. 0-2 count. On the way. It's outside, says our home plate umpire. So that'll bring the count even to 1-2. That's count's not even. There's another mess up, guys. That's why I'm not a professional commentator. That's why I'm doing high school games. And swung on and missed. Struck him out on the breaking ball. Turnbull really having his way with this Rangers lineup tonight.
Trevino.
Brings up the catcher, Jose Trevino. Had that single his last time up that kicked off that string of singles from Trevino, Chu, and Andrews. Of course, it resulted in 0 runs on the board as the Rangers were not able to do anything with the bases loaded and nobody out. 1-0 count. Solak, conservative leadoff second.
No, that's down. Zero.
Swings and misses at the 2-0 offering. Count is 2-1. Turnbull looks for the call, shakes him off. 2-1 offering on the way. Fouled off by Trevino. Two on the way. Trevino swings and drives that ball down the right field line, but the first baseman, John Hicks, is going to be able to make the grab as he crosses into foul territory. So on one hit, the Rangers once again are not able to push the run across. Tigers still lead 2-0.
Leading off for the Tigers, the designated hitter.
Designated hitter, Jaime Candelario. In to start off this top half of the 5th inning for the Tigers. Struck out in his first plate appearance. Lance Lynn still on the mound for the Rangers. As we drew your attention to his pitch count last inning, we're going to do so once again, as he's now at 66 with the 67th on the way.
One ball, one
And the
strike.
67th pitch of the evening for Lance Lynn is a ball. Count stands at 1-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Boy, nearly hit him on that one, as that one's inside. 2-1 count. And Rangers fans, I'm sure, looking forward to that retractable roof, especially when the summer months roll around. Starts getting almost unbearably hot once you start getting into the latter half of June, into July and August. And stays pretty warm in September as well. Texas heat is nothing to play with. You start mixing in the humidity as well, and it makes games a lot less enjoyable when you're sitting directly in the sun in 105-degree heat at a 40-degree humidity point. As we watch Lance Lynn strike out the designated hitter Candelario. One away for the Tigers. Beautiful breaking ball, caught the inside part of the plate. Actually a cutter there. Really good movement on the cutter, 5 inches on the break.
Oh, that's out.
As the first pitch to the center fielder Reyes is going to be a ball. One 0 count on the way. And maybe a little bit high. Maybe caught the top half of the zone, but the home plate umpire says that's a strike. So our count's at 1-1. And immediately after that call, Lynn misses the zone for ball 2. And now misses for ball 3. The 3-1 pitch on the way to Reyes. That one is swung on, driven down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. And a great play by the ball girl down the left field line as she fielded that on one hop. She's got a chance at stardom again. As Reyes fouls this one down the left field line once again. So the count's going to stay at 3-2 as Reyes is really making Lynn work for this one. And that one's going to be high, says home plate umpire. Forgot his name.
Batting,
didn't write it down.
the second baseman.
So the home plate umpire
40.
calls ball 4. Reyes
Mercer.
works his second walk of the game. Joe Palumbo now up and throwing for the Rangers. Out in that right center field bullpen, the home bullpen. Mercer swinging at the first pitch he sees. It was a curveball. Probably looking for it, as Lance Lynn has favored that pitch highly to start off hitters in this one. Throws him another curveball. That's on the ground to Solak. He throws over to Odor at second. The throw on to Guzman at first is in time. That will retire the side, and the Rangers able to negate the one-out walk. Chu, Andrews, and Calhoun up for the Rangers when we come back. And we see Heidi Watney once again talking, but we can't hear her.
Leading off for the Rangers, the designated
Shin-Soo
hitter,
Choo up to the plate.
Shin-Soo Choo.
1 for 2 with a single back in the third inning. Rangers now in the middle innings need to string some hits together, put some runs on the board if they want to have any hope of winning this ball game. It was a very Joe Buck thing of me to say because, of course, runs win games. And very disappointed in myself as a commentator at this moment. Chu drives this one. Well, not really drives this one. It was off the end of the bat. John Hicks easily scoops the ball up, steps on first, and Chu is made an easy out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th. Elvis Andrews up to the plate. Batting average now standing at .274. I may have mentioned this before, but this is a live version of MLB 19 the show, so there were updates as we watch Andrews ground out to the shortstop Cabrera for out number 2.
Up next for the Rangers,
So MLB 19 the show has a feature where you can play season games as they're being played. It links up with the MLB network. It updates live stats. And so a few of the players who are still on the active roster for each of these teams, I believe, came in with the live stats that were last updated whenever I last connected to the MLB network server. And so that's why you see some numbers that show the 2018 seasonal numbers and some that show live season numbers. And Calhoun is going to fly out to third and mercifully put an end to my rambling about MLB 19 the show's MLB network feature. Cabrera, Hicks, and Rodriguez coming up next.
leading off for the Tigers,
Miguel Cabrera in for the Tigers. Here in the top half of the 6th inning, they're holding on to a 2-0 lead, looking to add to it. And Cabrera is the guy that you would one up in this situation. Lance Lynn, once again, starting off a hitter with a curveball, this time not able to find the zone. 1-0. And Cabrera, at this point, he's going to be looking to get on base any way that he can, but of course Cabrera is a guy that has pop. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a hold of one, as Lance Lynn's pitch count is getting up there and becoming predictable in his pitch pattern. And leaving pitches out over the plate or not in the zone at all. This one's driven out to center field, but Delino DeShields is going to be able to make the routine play on the line drive.
Now batting.
So Miguel Cabrera going without a whimper. And the Rangers looking to keep this game right where it's at. Their offense has been virtually non-existent, as they've been able to get runners on base, but have not been able to do anything with them. John Hicks drives this ball down the right field line, but it's going to hook foul. And so it'll be nothing more than a long, loud strike number 1. Lance Lynn, 0-1 offering.
Nope.
That's inside. As you can see on that replay, that ball well inside. So the count even at 1-1. Lance Lynn's 86th pitch of the evening is on the way, and it's low for ball number 2. Counts even at 2-2. Jordan Hicks, of course, had the only 2 RBIs of the game back in the first inning. But now he's going to swing and miss. Lance Lynn strikes him out.
The third baseman, Ronnie Rodriguez.
Getting that strikeout pitch working on the 4-seam fastball, rather. A little bit of down and in action on that pitch.
Nope. Ball 1, no strike.
Rodriguez swings and misses at the 1-0 offering. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Temperature staying pretty consistent in my bedroom at about 74 degrees with a nice breeze from the ceiling fan. And Rodriguez grounds this one over to the second baseman, Odor, who throws on to Guzman without issue for out number 3. That'll do it for the top half of the 6th. It'll be Santana, Odor, and Solak up for the Rangers when we come back.
Leading off for the Rangers, the right fielder, Danny Santana.
Danny Santana up for the Rangers to lead off this inning.
Yep, that ball went out.
One-0 count.
Two balls, no strike.
So noticeably absent from the Rangers lineup tonight is Joey Gallo. As I mentioned earlier, this is a live rosters game via the MLB network, and I believe at the last update that MLB the show put out, Joey Gallo was injured, so he was not in the Rangers active lineup. Santana grounds this ball over in front of the third base dugout. Brings the count to 2-2. So Joey Gallo not in this game. They would sure love for him to be, as his mammoth power is just definitely a spark that they could use in this one, as the offense, as previously mentioned, has been non-existent. They strung together 3 singles back a few innings ago, and bases were loaded with no one out, but they were not able to push a run across, as the next 2 hitters struck out, and then a fly out put an end to the inning. Santana skies this one out to left center field. Reyes on the run is able to make the play. So one away here for the Rangers in the bottom of the 6th, as you get a close-up of Reyes' jersey for some reason there. Gotta love video game glitches. That brings up Rougned Odor. Odor watches the first pitch go by. 1-0 count. Take a look at the replay there. You can see that ball was at his hands. Easy call for home plate, or the home plate umpire there. Odor fouls that one off, brings the count even to 1-1. And Odor, of course, very underwhelming ever since signing that contract extension after the 2016 season. If you ask my friend Josh Martinez what he thinks about Rougned Odor, he would tell you that Odor only got that extension because he punched Jose Bautista in the face. I'm inclined to agree with him to some degree, as that was a very iconic moment in Rangers history. I want to get that picture framed and hung up on my wall for sure. You know, it's up there with Nolan Ryan and you know, just going to town on Ventura. I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to watch to this point in the broadcast anyway. So Odor grounds out to the third baseman, Rodriguez. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. It brings up Nick Solak, who has drawn a walk and singled back in the 4th inning. This has been a relatively fast-paced game. Bit of a pitcher's duel. The only runs coming back in the 1st inning. The John Hicks double that drove in Reyes and Cabrera.
Nope. Ball 1. 1-1.
Turnbull did not like that call, however. Looked like a borderline pitch that could have gone either way. Either way, count is 1-1. Turnbull gets the signal. Kicks and throws. Solak pops this one up in the infield. First baseman Hicks is able to easily make the play to retire the side. So, Rangers not able to get anyone on base, so the Tigers still lead this one 2-0. And we'll break down the box score for you here. Detroit only has 3 hits, but they do have 2 runs on the board, and the Rangers, of course, with 4 hits but no runs, as we mentioned in the last half inning. Bit of a pitcher's duel.
Your attention, please.
And Joe Palumbo now is going to come on in relief
Number 62
for Lance Lynn. 0 for 3 so far on the season with an abysmal
leading off for the Tigers.
9.18 ERA.
Number 14.
Palumbo, the hard-throwing lefty.
Count 1-0.
I say hard-throwing, a bit in jest. Rarely seen him top 92 or 93. Really relies more on his off-speed pitches.
Hey.
Stewart swings and drives this one over into foul territory. Strike 2. 1-2 count. And Stewart's going to swing and miss at strike 3, but it gets away from Trevino. He's going to be able to recover, though, and make the throw over to Guzman.
Now batting.
So scored a strikeout with a 2-3 putout. As Trevino able to recover in time. And we have one away here in the top of the 7th inning. That'll bring up Gold Glove right fielder Travis DeMeritte.
Too high.
Travis DeMeritte, of course, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Has not seen the ball well tonight. See if anything changes with the ball coming from the other side of the mound and the left-handed pitcher Palumbo. DeMeritte fouls off that one. 1-2 count. And Palumbo's going to strike out DeMeritte here for the 2nd out of the inning. So the hat trick for DeMeritte is he's now struck out 3 times in this one. And the Rangers getting some good production from DeMeritte out of the pen. I should say Palumbo out of the pen. Grayson Grenier watches the first pitch go by for strike one. Of course, he is still hitless on the night. 0-2 as he steps into the plate for this at-bat. And he swings and misses at strike two, and Palumbo is rolling out of the pen. Just completely overmatched Grenier with that fastball, as he probably helped him out a little bit, as that one looked like it might have been a bit up.
Ball that's outside.
The payoff pitch is on the way from Palumbo. On the ground, Solak makes the play on a hop and makes the throw over to Guzman for out number 3. We are at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Through 7.5, 6.5 rather. The Tigers lead 2-0.
Leading off for the Rangers, the first baseman.
Ronald Guzman will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning for the Rangers. They're running out of time to get something started here. They're trailing 2-0 in this one. David McKay, the Tigers setup man, is now throwing in the bullpen. And Turnbull is out to start this 7th inning, as he has just been phenomenal. And if you looked at his numbers before the game, I don't think anyone would have predicted that he would pitch just as well as he has tonight. Now, this is a Rangers offense that is not as productive as most teams in the league. However, you would think with an ERA like Turnbull's that he would have given up at least something to this point. And Guzman drives that one, but Rodriguez is going to reach out and say, "Look what I found," as he pulls that one in for out number 1. And I'm commentating this game, supposed to be impartial, but it's a video game and I'm not getting paid. So even though this is a video game, I miss baseball, and I'm going to show a little bit of who I'm partial to. I'm hoping the Rangers pull this together, because you know the Tigers are, of course, my friends, plural, Josh Maldonado and Juan Maldonado's favorite team. And the Rangers are, of course, my favorite team. So I did this to mess with them, to commentate a game where the Rangers would surely win. And it has not turned out that way so far, as Delino DeShields is now down 0-2 in this count. He's going to drive that ball out to left field, but just missed maybe an extra base hit, as he got a little bit underneath that one, and it gave time for Stewart to range over and make the routine catch. So there are 2 away in the bottom of the 7th, and again, I just feel the need to point out that time is running out for the Rangers, as David McKay was already throwing, and now the Tigers closer Joe Jimenez is up and throwing in their pen as well. Jose Trevino watches the first pitch go by for a strike. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. Turnbull, the 0-1 offering, fouled off into the crowd by Trevino. And you take a look at the ratio of balls to strikes for Turnbull. He's got 64 strikes and he's only thrown 30 balls, so he hasn't been really messing around with this Rangers lineup. He's been going right at him, and he's been dominating to this point. As we mentioned, 4 hits but no runs for the Rangers, and they only have 1 hit with a runner in scoring position. Trevino pops it up. Left center field. Should be a routine play. And Reyes is going to make the play. So the Rangers side is retired. Still trailing in this one 2-0. Candelario, Reyes, and Mercer coming up when we come back.
Leading off for the Tigers, the designated hitter, Jamer Candelario.
Palumbo back on the mound to start. The top of the 8th for the Rangers. His first pitch is, wow, just outside for a ball. 34,742 in attendance here at Globe Life Park. Globe Life Park, of course, has been, or rather at this point had been, the home for the Rangers since 1994. It was host to my very first Major League Baseball game. I went with my dad and my brother. That was a New York Yankees-Rangers game back in 2005, I believe it was. As that one eats up Nick Solak, and I'm sure that'll be scored an error. As now the Tigers
Now batting, the center fielder,
have a runner on base as Candelario, the switch hitter, batting from the right side with Palumbo, the lefty, up, is able to get some good wood on that bat, and it eats up Nick Solak. That'll be scored an error. And Victor Reyes, who's also a switch hitter, stepping up to the plate to face Palumbo. But going back, my first baseball game with my dad and brother, Yankees came to town. It was shortly after the A-Rod trade. I believe it was the season after that trade happened. We sat on the third base side, probably about 20 to 25 rows up. We were underneath the covering of the second deck. That would be the, I believe they called it the Lexus Club. And I remember I was so excited. I was so excited to boo A-Rod because A-Rod was my favorite player before the Rangers traded him. Felt betrayed that he would want to be traded. I thought we had 10 years of him, and he wanted out after just a few. As this one's hit on the ground to Solak, he's going to throw over to Odor at second, and for the second time, oh no! He's called safe at first. We'll have to see if maybe the Rangers want to challenge this. Solak came up with it cleanly, got the ball over to second with Odor, and there will be no challenge, but the speedy runner Reyes was able to beat out the throw, and there's no double play here as Jordy Mercer lines that one foul down the third base line. He's 0 for 2, has drawn a walk, came in to score. Breaking ball from Palumbo there is inside. Going back to that story about my first game, as that one's driven into right field. Santana able to bank the play and get the ball into third base, so there will be runners at first and second with one out.
now batting, shortstop, Miguel Cabrera.
Mercer doing a great job of staying within himself on that swing. Was looking fastball and got it, knew what to do with it. Didn't try to do too much. And now has the Tigers in a very good position, looking to extend this lead with Miguel Cabrera stepping up to the plate. Palumbo kicks and throws. That one's down in the zone, but called a strike. Take a look at the sea of Rangers fans. 34,000 on hand tonight for this exhibition edition of MLB The Show.
Ball, that's out.
And so the count is 1-1 to Miguel Cabrera. Joe Palumbo. It's 1-1 on the way. It's on the ground to Solak. Throws the ball over to Odor at second and easily on to first. Double play to end the inning. And so the Rangers will have the top of their order due up when we come back.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for
the setup man, David McKay, on for the Detroit Tigers. In 25 games this year, he has a 5.47 ERA, has struck out 34. Looking to keep this game where it's at for the Tigers.
Leading off for the Rangers,
and Shin-Soo Choo, the first man up this inning to try to make sure that the Rangers go home happy with a win tonight. He'll watch the first one go by for a strike. So the very impressive start turned in by Tigers pitcher Spencer Turnbull. No runs allowed on 4 hits. Highlight of the night, most impressive feat of the evening for Turnbull was giving up 3 straight singles as we watched Choo drive this one out to center field. Reyes almost overruns it, but he's able to make the catch. As you see the final line score for Turnbull, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And that's on 97 pitches thrown this evening. As I mentioned, you had that stretch where Trevino, Choo, and Andrews each had 3 straight singles. But the Rangers were not able to do anything with it as Turnbull struck out the next 2 hitters he faced and then was able to force a weak fly ball that the third baseman Rodriguez was able to range back and make a play on. And you get the feeling that nothing was going to slow him down tonight. Certainly not this Rangers lineup, as with Joey Gallo out and obviously missing him and his power. Andrews drives this one. It's going to drop in front of their Gold Glove right fielder, Travis DeMariti.
the left fielder, number 5, Willie Calhoun.
And so the Rangers, should they come back and win this game, will have to do so against the Tigers bullpen. Andrews on first. Willie Calhoun up to the plate. Of course, Willie Calhoun, and
1-0.
as we watch a pitch out there, but nothing doing. Calhoun, of course, in spring training this past year, real life, 2020. Of course, scary moment when he took a pitch up and in, fastball. Did have to have surgery to repair a fractured bone. The estimated recovery time was about 6 to 8 weeks, but of course it looks like we're not even going to be playing baseball within the time frame that initial 6 to 8 weeks was given. I believe that was about a month ago, so in a month's time we likely won't be playing baseball. Should baseball return in 2020, it's likely Calhoun will be joining the Rangers on the presumed opening day. Calhoun's going to drive this one out to right field, but it's going to be an easy play for Travis DeMariti as he hardly has to move, and Andrews will have to retreat back to first. Take a look at the starter comparison here. Lance Lynn, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, both of those earned. 3 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Turnbull, of course, we talked about how impressive he was, and it's unfortunate for Lynn. You know, he had a slow start. Those 2 runs, of course, coming back in the first inning within the first 4 hitters he faced. But then he settled in and retired the next 6 that he faced. And it's just unfortunate for him that his offense hasn't backed him up. The best he can hope for now is a no decision. But for now, we're going to watch Danny Santana fly out to Reyes in center to retire the side. So the Tigers will look to add on some insurance runs in the top of the ninth. Hicks, Rodriguez, and Stewart coming up next. Right back into the action. Here's John Hicks, the first baseman, steps up into the box, the hero of the night for the Tigers. He had that 2-run double back in the first inning.
Count 1-0.
The only runs scored on the evening. Joe Palumbo still on the mound for the Rangers. He's turned in an impressive performance here over the last 3 innings. One and one count. Trevino gives the sign. Palumbo, the 1-1 offering on the way.
That's a ball.
Misses low.
1 strike.
Again, Palumbo, a guy who likes to rely on his breaking pitches. Work the eye level of the hitter, just similarly to Spencer Turnbull, who started tonight's game for the Tigers. Palumbo's fastball actually most of the time coming in at a slower speed than Turnbull's, so he really has to rely on those breaking pitches, especially with being a relief pitcher. But now he's going to get a 94-mile-an-hour fastball over on John Hicks for the first out here in the top of the ninth. And the Rangers trying to keep this game where it's at, as if they want to win this game, they're going to need some heroics in the bottom of the ninth.
Off the plate, ball 1.
Ronnie Rodriguez, 0 for 2, walked back in the 4th inning. He's looking to get on base here. Very unique stance. Almost looks a little tense. But hey, if it works, it works. He made it to the major league level, and I'm commentating a video game, so you tell me who's the expert.
2-2 down.
Palumbo with a very enticing curveball. Rodriguez able to lay off of it. Swung on and missed. Rodriguez becomes Palumbo's second strikeout victim of the inning. Boy, a gift of a location, but he must have been looking for something off speed because he just could not catch up to that one. Brings up Kristen Stewart. He swings and misses at the first offering for a strike. He struck out back in the 7th inning. Also hitless on the ninth. Palumbo from the windup, kicks and throws.
Ball, down.
Breaking ball, down and away, ball 1. And that one given a ride down the right field line, but it's gonna hook foul. Brings the count to 1-2. Palumbo 1 strike away from closing out the top of the ninth. And that one driven back up the middle, and nobody's going to be able to make a play on it. It gets through. A great piece of 2-strike hitting from Kristen Stewart as he was able to drive that ball back up the middle. Looked like a changeup, and yes, it was a changeup at 84 miles an hour. A little bit of downward action. He didn't try to do too much, but he had to have been looking off speed as his timing was perfect on that one. And so the Tigers with a little bit of life here in the top of the ninth with 2 outs. Still hope for that insurance run. Demerity up to the plate. He struck out 3 times tonight. 0 for 3. And he's down 0-1.
Down 1-1.
Breaking ball from Palumbo. Misses for ball 1. And As we mentioned earlier, if the Rangers want to win this game, they'll need some heroics. As Demeriti swings and misses. Many a walk-offs have occurred in this ballpark. My very last game that I attended at Globe Life Park, Hunter Pence walked it off. Elvis Andrews came across to score. Just me and Dad at that game.
Two balls, two strikes.
It's a great final last memory of Globe Life Park, as the stadium has now been modified to accommodate the XFL and FC Dallas's affiliate team. Danny Santana on to make the grab, and that'll do it for the top of the ninth. The Rangers will need to score 2 runs to keep this one alive. Odor, Solak, and Guzman due up next.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Tigers.
Closer for the Detroit Tigers, Joe Jimenez. Out to the mound here. Hard throwing righty. Tops out at about 97 miles an hour.
The second baseman,
and he'll have the assignment of Rougned Odor to start off this bottom of the 9th inning. Odor, on the very first pitch he sees, skies this one out to left field. Stewart's going to range back. He'll make the easy play well shy of the warning track. And the Rangers very quickly are down to their last 2 outs in this one. That brings up the rookie, the kid, Nick Solak. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Single in the 4th. Has the potential to have some pop, as he had 5 home runs in September of 2019. And he's going to swing and miss at the changeup. Way out in front of that one. You get the feeling Jimenez has this Rangers lineup right where he wants them.
That's the ball. 1-1.
Here in the bottom of the 9th.
Ball, that's out.
Two 2-1 pitch on the way.
Ball inside.
So Nick Solak, working the count yet again tonight, finds himself in a 3-1 opportunity.
Nope,
and that one's low for ball 4. So that'll bring up Ronald Guzman, the first baseman, and he'll represent the tying run in this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
And we'll have to hold on for a second, as it looks like Nomar Mazara is actually going to pinch hit. Guy who's a little bit more reliable, tends to show a little bit more pop than Ronald Guzman.
Nope.
Mazara, if you remember, had that home run last year into the all-you-can-eat upper home run porch seats. As we watch a throw over to first base, but Solak's back in plenty of time. Mazara had that home run that came in at, I believe, 506 feet. It was a mammoth shot of a home run. And Mazara's going to ground this ball over to the shortstop, Cabrera. He throws over to Mercer at second and on to Hicks at first. It's a 6-4-3 double play to end this one, and the Rangers, well, they went quietly into this very cool night. As mentioned previously, 74 degrees in my bedroom. Feels great. But you know what doesn't feel great is the Rangers losing, even in a video game, against literally the worst team in baseball. Literally. I'm very upset. It's a video game, and I wanted my team to win, and they couldn't do it. So, the Tigers hold on to win this one 2-0 after scoring the only 2 runs of the ball game way back in the second inning. Spencer Turnbull gets the win in this one. 7 innings pitched, no earned runs on 4 hits and 2 walks, had 5 strikeouts. Lance Lynn with the loss in this one. He had 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, both of them earned. It's redundant. 3 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Joe Jimenez comes on with the save. 1 inning pitched, 0 earned runs on 0 hits, but he did have a walk. Notable players for Detroit, John Hicks with the only 2 RBIs in the game, off that RBI double back in the first inning. Player of the game honors being awarded to Spencer Turnbull for the incredible starting performance he turned in. It's impossible to win a game if you can't score, and Spencer Turnbull holding the Rangers to a scoreless 7 innings, and the bullpen coming behind him to slam the door shut. Well, if you watched with us this far, thank you so much for being a part of this exhibition edition of MLB 19, the show coming at you from Globe Life Park in Arlington / my bedroom. I'm Tyler Williams, signing off.